Where's our intro?
I'm everywhere, small fingers, but I'm quick, mate. I'm quick.
Small everything, that's what they say.
Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts Podcast with Elliot Kay and Jose Ucar. Every week we bring the tips, tools, and strategies for you to become a world-class public speaker. We bring you guests, experts, and authorities in the field of public speaking to enrich you and enhance your public speaking journey. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment. And now, please welcome your hosts, Elliot and Jose.
Whoa. Happy what?
Whoa.
Well, I'm a criminal. I'm from the underground. What are you talking about? I'm from the underground, from the whatever. Really, the way I wanted to begin this podcast was not by saying that, but then Elliot, and for people that has actually been listening to this podcast, he's actually got into the habit of interrupting my flow. So for me, it's just like the whole challenge. It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's leave a dish. There we go. So there we go. That is also for our guest today, whom I'm not going to introduce yet. What I wanted to say, this is the first recording of the Public Speaking Experts Podcast 2022, people. So are you ready for this? I want to see you. I want to hear you. Are you ready for this? We're going live on LinkedIn. So if you're seeing us on LinkedIn right now, comment if you've got any questions, whatever, just interact, subscribe to the podcast, invite people to listen to it. This is, as we also like to say, always like to say, we have fun. There's a bit of a banter. We go deep. We provide great insights. Most importantly, take action, people. If you're not taking action, then we'll take the podcast away from you and you're not going to be able to watch it or listen to it. How about that? That's how I'm feeling. There we go. I'm giving... Exactly. Okay.
That's actually how you laugh. That's the scary
who was
thing.
that? Is that how I laugh? Well, I'm not going to speak about our night out because your laughter, once you've had a few drinks, that is definitely something not to remember. Anyway, today, Elliot Kay, we are here again, yes. Buddy. How are you? I mean, do you know who we've got as a guest speaker today?
Well, no, I don't.
It is a rhetorical question because you do know.
Why don't you see? Now you're interrupting me. What is this? 2022 is the year interrupt me? Oh no, you didn't. If you're not careful, Jose, I will give you a... Where's it gone? It's disappeared. I have to find it. Oh, there we go.
There
Ready?
We go.
Boo! That's what happens if you interrupt me. So today's a really interesting podcast. Hello, everybody. I am the other half of the Public Speaking Expert podcast that Jose seems to have taken over with. Whoa. I don't know where that's coming from. Anyway, welcome. Happy New Year. We're very excited to restart the recording after a break. It's been fabulous having a break and not hearing Jose's voice for at least 3 weeks. So that was fantastic.
I know.
I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. And that's not true. He did WhatsApp me almost every day telling me how much he misses me. But today is about something greater. Today is about something big, something that goes well beyond your years. Jose, take it away.
And this is why when we say something that goes beyond, we're going to be speaking about legacy, but we're not going to give much away yet because the guest speaker today, his name is I'm not going to introduce him yet. I'm not going to do it yet.
Oh,
because first of all, I want to share people something. I mean, when you meet a person and right away, that person is operating from purpose, from a higher level, a higher self, for a deeper part of himself. This is how this gentleman came across the first time we met. And then I've been learning from his journey, the different things he's been doing. And all of the incredible things that he started successfully, which come from a place of giving. We're going to be speaking today to Alex Brueckmann. Have I said that correctly, Alex?
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, is that good Deutsch or
Das ist very good Deutsch, yeah.
Das ist very good Deutsch. That is very good Deutsch. Fantastic. Alex, welcome to the Public Speaking Experts podcast, brother. Look, we want to give you the opportunity to also introduce yourself because, we leave a dish. We know you have done so many other things. The important element here is that when we met you, I mean, still today, you're organizing this incredible, show event that
Summit.
it's just summit, exactly, three things in one summit, which brings together so many speakers. But not just that, but it's actually what we all together are doing for a greater good. And imagine if more people like Alex were out there doing these things, just like Elliot and I, in a way. Well, maybe myself, but let's not take the center of attention from Alex. So,
It's
brother,
about Alex today, Jose.
exactly.
Alex.
Welcome to the Public Speaking Experts podcast. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be part of your summit. Please intro yourself, and I'm going to shut up a little bit because I want a bit of coffee. But yeah, take it away,
Is that a
brother. It's a
promise?
pleasure to have you with us. No, it's
You
not.
promising?
I'll come back. I'll come back in seconds. Alex, please
Alex,
take
over
your
to
chance.
you.
It's now. Woohoo!
Thanks, Jose. Thanks, Elliot. Great to have you on this event, and thanks for having me on your show.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because Jose was very kind of like mysterious about you. He's done all these things. Tell us a little bit about, in your own
I'm not
words,
that
about
mysterious.
yourself.
I'm not the mysterious guy. I think I think what Elliot, what you, Elliot, and Jose, when we talked to each other, what you realized that, and Jose said it, the event that I'm currently creating that will air in February, it's called the Legacy, the Premier Strategic Business Event. And when I use the term legacy, I'm really not talking about handing over a big bank account, handing over a house to the next generation.
But that's welcome. Let's not
it's
dismiss
nice.
that.
Let's be honest. Yeah, kinda. But what I'm really talking about when I use this term legacy, I'm talking about a living legacy, something that you build and you can be proud of during your life that is beyond money, beyond possession, something that is not reflected in, let's say, what you own. It's reflected in what you created for others. When I say others, what I mean is it can be your community where you live and where you work. It can be society as a whole. It can be humankind, right? It can be bigger than that even. And it can be for the environment. You can build a legacy that goes beyond your business using your business. And that's what this event is all about.
And how did you land here? Like, how did you wake up one morning and go, hey, you know what, let's do a legacy event? So tell us the journey to putting this on and your big why, because there's clearly a big driver behind this. No one pulls together, what, 20, 30 different speakers?
45, but hey, who
45,
cares? Who
there we go.
counts?
Who's counting? 45 speakers across the world, including Jose and myself, for no reason. So tell us a little bit about the backstory to it.
The backstory is actually very, very simple. I wrote a book about how to run strategy processes in organizations and how you can use these strategy processes for more than just the business strategy as such. How you can use that process to ask some really deep, powerful questions about all the adjacent elements in an organization, from values to guiding principles to the purpose and desired impact of an organization, all the way to the management systems. How do you actually run the company? And in that process of writing the book, I realized that I have not been true to my own higher purpose to the degree that I wanted to. And what I mean with that is I started a childhood cancer charity back in 2017. And I realized, and this has nothing to do with COVID as such, I believe, or with the pandemic as such, but I realized that over the past 2 years, I could have done more than I actually did. I was so focused on moving from Germany to Canada and building a new life here with my family that this part of myself did not get enough food, if you know what I mean. I didn't nourish that piece in me enough. And I realized it's time to get back into that mode where I not only do something that I'm proud of, but that I actually now start to understand how I can leverage my business in order to do that. Prior to moving to Canada, I didn't really leverage my business to support other people, to make an impact, to make a difference in the lives of people. I did that in my private time. And I realized that there is not the private Alex and the work Alex. It needs to be one person. And since I run a small company, it's very easy for me to combine those things. And I realized once I put this out there, people like you came on board and were like, I want to be part of that. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That's kind of different than hustling, bustling all day, every day, based on wanting to provide for the family. So it became this idea of bringing together people that share this passion and asking them, hey guys, what does it take from your perspective to help entrepreneurs and business owners create companies that, of course, are profitable, and in addition, create an impact that goes beyond the bottom line in the life of other people, in the life of the environment, whatever you want it to be, and thereby lead a more fulfilling life that goes beyond just money.
Mm-hmm. So what you're talking about is really the concept of purposeful profits as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
we're going to make money with purpose. You know, obviously Elon Musk is a huge, whether you like him or not, he's a huge advocate of that. You know, he talks about being purposeful with profits and reinjecting it for a greater cause. And when you're led by the purpose of saving humanity, which is what leads him, that's his big purpose in life. You know, you go to extraordinary lengths to do that. So your essence isn't of this summit, and generally what you're talking about is let's use business as a force for good and be purposeful with making money and being profitable, right?
Exactly. And in that course, I'm actually not really talking about purpose. For me, purpose is the starting point. It is an intention that you set out there. And I'm glad that you mentioned Elon, because he is a guy that took this purpose and put it into action to an extreme degree. You can take Tesla, you can take SpaceX, take whatever you want. He is taking this to the extreme. Of course, he has the funds to do that, but they just didn't come about just like that. He worked for that, so he created that. And when I talk about it, what I'm actually talking about is about impact, and impact can be completely beyond money. So using a business as a force for good does not necessarily mean you have your profits combined with that purpose statement. You're not necessarily talking about those two elements. You're more talking about what is the impact that I want to create with my business in the world. The profits will hopefully follow. But I'm looking for the business case after I ask myself, what is the right thing to do here? What is the impact that I want to see? How does that resonate with who I am as a human being? And when you take a look at research, I mean, there's vast research and proof out there. When you take a look at business from that perspective, the profits will follow because you will inherently address a need out there.
Yeah. Before I hand over to Jose, he's doing his little "I want to talk" dance. He does a little jiggle when he's ready to talk.
When he gets nervous,
No,
like
I
a
think it's
little
kind of
boy
his
on
thoughts
a chair.
brewing up. You know, it's like it's
Yeah,
coming, it's
get
coming.
I get bouncy. Apparently, Jose stands for, what does he stand for?
Oh, I have that somewhere. I'll find it in a minute.
Well,
But what I did want to say,
find
it's
it while
been
you guys talk.
proven that businesses with a social mission outperform the brands that in the same space without it by 400%. So what you're saying is absolutely on the money without being, no pun intended. Josie, over to you.
I couldn't find, I don't know what my name stands for anyway, the acronym may not be that relevant. The thing is, it's kind of bouncy, jumping, which is kind of my personality most of the time, unless you speak to my wife. But there is a question here, Alex, for you. Yeah, because apparently I'm not bouncy when I'm around her anymore. There we go. I'm addressing all sorts of conflicts today when it comes to the purpose
It's
and
not
everything.
that session.
So,
It's not that
no,
kind
it's
of
not
podcast.
that session. Okay, cool. Okay, let me just come back to the point today. So, Alex, and I speak to loads of people that come to the coaching and the sessions and the trainings and everything else, and they come in because they want to speak most of the time because they have got something greater to share. They've got a calling, they've got this something, and they believe that by putting it out there to the masses, to a greater audience, they're going to impact more lives. And that is the purpose in there. But then my question to you would be, what are the, could you say the strategy? Because you spoke about strategy, or the steps, the process for that business, purpose-driven, to get to a point in which it can do that and at the same time provide the resources or the profit or the sales, the turnover, because as we all know, without that, then we cannot sustain that dream or that purpose. You said that when you do it in a certain way, it will come. Would you mind sharing then that process in more detail, please?
Of course. So when we talk about profitable businesses that have an impact, we talk about two things. We talk about profit and impact, and we need both. You rightly said so, Jose. There is no good in wasting yourself or your life or throwing your family overboard in the process of losing yourself in doing good for the world. You can only do as much good as you can sustain in your own life when it comes to the profits that you need in order to provide for the family, for example. You need those profits. Profit is nothing bad. I'm not talking about building not-for-profit companies for the sake of building them. I'm talking about building for-profit companies that do have that higher purpose and put it into action. So how do you actually start? You start with that profit piece in mind. You're not putting yourself out there in order not to make money. You put yourself out there in order to provide a service that is truly deeply valuable for people. But you're not doing it just because you want to earn money. You're asking yourself, what do I do with that money? So it is a very intentional process from starting out your business with something that you love. And that can be a product business, it can be a services business, it really doesn't matter. The question is, if I run a product business, and for example, we do have a speaker on the Legacy Summit that runs a very successful young beauty brand. It is a skincare company that's called Truly Lifestyle Brand, sitting somewhere here around me in the Lower Mainland around Vancouver. And when Alexandria started that business, she immediately, of course, addressed a need. So she made profits and sales because she addressed a need of her consumers. And at the same time, she asked herself, wait a minute, what can I do in order not to contribute to the misery in the world? So how can I produce my products in a more sustainable way? Cruelty-free, without animal testing. How can I use local producers or people that do the packaging and provide the bottles that I need and everything in order to avoid that the stuff is being transported across half of the globe and thereby causing emissions? So it's all those kinds of questions that you can ask yourself. And then, of course, at the very end, there is this aspect of giving back as well. What do I use my profits for? Is there a certain percentage that I contribute to certain charities, for example, or that I use in order to fund and sponsor a local sports team? Whatever those things are, there is a lot you can do in order to have a positive impact on the world. From taking inclusive hiring decisions to how do I use supply chains? How do I build supply chains in my business to make them as environmentally friendly as possible? How do I offset my carbon footprint? How do I make sure that, in the case of Alexandria, I am ethical in how I run my business without killing or harming others in that process? Does that make sense, Jose?
Absolutely. I love it. And you just highlighted something so important here, which Elliot and I like to say, which is the quality of the questions we ask. We ask ourselves, we ask others, will dictate the quality of our outcomes and the things we create. And you just numbered a long list of different questions for different purposes that will then lead to the creation of great things, as you shared. And these are reframed questions, most of them, what if and how about and how will I? So thank you so much for sharing those, Alex. And I'm going to pass on the mic to our colleague Elliot K here, because I have another question brewing, but I wanted to hear, from him. Although actually, one sec. Now that you mention all of this, do you also do things within manufacturing? Sorry, Elliot, I wanted just to get you a bit excited and then take it away. It's just like giving a candy and whoa, not yet.
That's good.
I don't know. I'm mean like that today with you.
He's very mean.
Do you also do similar? Do you also do similar things within manufacturing? Do you know businesses in that area as well?
Yes, of course.
The businesses you tend to work with?
So the businesses that I work with, they are across industries, from manufacturing to services to online businesses. to hospitality, you name it, right? So it really does not matter what you are in the business for. What matters is, are you going intentionally through that process of defining where you want your company to be in 2, 3, 5 years, and how do you actually get there? And this how you get there can be fully profit focused, no matter the cost, or you do it in a very intentional and conscious way, so that you realize, hey, on the one hand, I'm building something that is super profitable, that helps me live the life I want to live. I don't have to worry about anything financially speaking. I can have a nice vacation, etc., etc. And on the other hand, I'm doing something that I am proud of beyond money. I'm doing something that helps me see that I am on this planet for a greater good. And when your initial question was, tell me about your journey. How did you get there? And this all ties back to my own greater purpose, which is leave this planet at least not in a worse state than you found it. So hopefully you contribute something that makes the planet a bit more livable. And in my case, this is really about environmental protection. And I needed to change my business model in order to take a look in the mirror every morning. I used to fly across the globe a lot because of my work. I can't do this anymore. It just doesn't work for me anymore. The carbon footprint that I'm responsible for because of my work is just too big. And I needed to take a conscious decision. How can I change my business model in order to be true to myself, in order to be true to the impact that I want to have in the world? And if you do that in the process of defining how you make your profits, you're already building towards your legacy.
Thank you so much, Alex. And I want to invite everyone listening to this right now. Do you ever ask yourself similar questions? Do you ever think about leaving a legacy? Do you ever think about the ripple effect of your actions and your outcomes and your objectives? Because it's a great opportunity for you to actually think about the compound effect that whatever we decide to do today differently could have for future generations. I'm feeling very inspired, Elliot. So I started kind of, joking and everything else as we always do. But then these conversations tend to go very deep. So I'm going to pass on the baton to Elliot Kay.
No, you're doing great. You can carry on going if you want.
Thank you very much. But I guess since, we run the podcast together, I wanted to hear your voice. And we haven't said who's sponsoring this episode today.
Technically is sponsoring it, really, isn't
Exactly. But we haven't, we
it's
said
all
it
about the summit
out loud
today.
so
It's
people
not
know.
about anything else. But I was about to do a bit of a commercial break.
Okay, let's do the commercial. Let's do the commercial break. Do it.
Are you going to do your
No, do it. Well, you did like the Spanish rap I gave you the other
day. Going all mad. You see that?
Yeah, I know. What's going on in there?
That's a bit better. We do everything live here, Alex. Nothing left. Everything left to chance. But here it comes. So you are listening to the Public Speaking Expert Podcast, the first one of 2022. Just to remind you that should you ever want support or need with your public speaking, if you ever want speakers or a speaker, reach out to myself and Jose, because we'd love to support your events and conferences in any way we can. And of course, make sure you follow us now on Instagram under the new handle of the Public Speaking Experts Show. Right? That's right. And if you do follow us and leave us a comment with a review of the show, we will send you a copy of my book, Speak, Influence, Sell. So make sure you do that. Send us some love, because we love getting love. And of course, if you want to hear us live, we're on daily on Clubhouse, midday UK time, as this episode was recorded. So let's carry on with the interview. There you go. Perfectly done, I thought. Beautifully executed there. In fact, I just need to get rid of the other one that confused me. There we go. Awesome stuff. No, some great interview today. We're interviewing Alex Brueckmann. Did I say that right?
Kinda.
Oh, you
Did
see,
Jose
kind
say it
of,
better than
kind
I
of.
did?
Well, there we go, buddy.
No.
Because it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I think
Brueckmann.
Jose clearly wins this competition.
Oh, what?
At least,
Can't
at
have
least
that.
I get
That's
to
it. I'm
win
out
one.
of
Come
here.
on.
And
I
we're
always
talking
get
about
all the
legacy.
jokes and everything. Yeah, let's talk about legacy now.
No, it's true. He does. He does get all the. No, yeah, you do. I guess it's true. So we're talking about legacy today, but we're talking about legacy in the sense of how people can utilize businesses to leave a legacy, to change the world, to heal the world and make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people crying. If we don't care for the living, make the world a better place. Is
Kind
that
of.
For
true?
you and for me.
Yeah, there we go.
I
So,
love it.
Alex,
I
tell
love
us
it. How do you come up with these things, Elliot? Because it's just like you flow. You're in flow. I love it. Very
I do.
original. It's wow, so much to learn. So much to learn, people.
Are you being sarcastic?
No, never. Have I ever? No way. No way. Let's carry on with the interview because I'm sure Alex has got better things to say than just singing Michael Jackson's song here.
How could you say that? There's nothing more important than singing Michael Jackson. Surely. Moving on swiftly. And it's also early for Alex. So, he got up early, especially for us. So just keep
Alex,
that in mind.
honestly, how is this going for you? Because if you want us to stop right now, we won't, but we still would like to know. We still would like to know how you're feeling.
Hey, let's talk about the summit for a moment. That could be helpful for a change.
Let's do this. The summit. Let's talk about the summit.
No,
Come on.
What you're talking about, Alex, is really, obviously very deep and heart moving and very much in need to be heard, right? I think that it's easy to get lost in the world of business, and it's easy to get lost in the world of making money, especially, with the rise of the influencer and social media, where an illusion is often sold as reality, where fiction is delivered as fact. And so as we start to kind of continue in this culture, in this world, what would you say to people who are struggling or who are feeling like they're not leaving a legacy? What would you say to people besides listen to the summit? But what would you say to those people who are going, oh, I'm not sure what my legacy is, or even my legacy matters, or why bother? What would you say to those people?
These are important questions. I actually was there for a long time. I've been there for a long time. I didn't know really what my legacy would be. I didn't even know whether I would ever find a job that I would truly love. But it took me more than a decade to arrive at that point where I was like, that feels kind of right now. This is what I want to do. It was a very long and windy road to that point. And for some people, it takes even longer. Other people, they just listen to their inner soul, like young environmentalists like Greta Thunberg, for example. When she sat down for her first school strike, as she called it, that was not that was not a decision from a business perspective or a profit or money-making perspective. This was just coming truly out of the soul of a kid. And she was lucky enough to listen to that soul early enough in her life. Other people, they forget how to listen to their inner soul, to their inner calling, to something that they want to do during the race for money, during the race for a career. And let's be frank, we're talking from a very privileged perspective here. There are people in the world, many people in the world, that do not have the luxury of thinking those thoughts, of talking the way I talk, of asking yourself, do I make an impact on the world that I want to make? These people are struggling every day. These people are just trying to survive. And they are probably the biggest part of the population of this planet. So it's those people that we need to have in mind when we talk about creating an impact, creating a legacy, creating something that is larger than our own businesses, our own lives. It's those people that do not have the opportunities that we have and the options to think those thoughts. And it's often the people that suffer the most from environmental disasters, from social injustice, from suppression, from just not having access to education or other resources that are vital to build a life that is beyond, let's say, poverty or beyond misery. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there, many, many millions, that live a very happy life with way, way less than we have access to every day. That's not the point. The point of living a fulfilled life has nothing to do necessarily with making money. But it is important that we understand that your inner calling, if you don't know what it is yet, start by stripping away consumerism, start by stripping away the things that numb you down, and really start listening to that voice inside you. And often this means to go back to a younger version of yourself, when you still allowed yourself to dream, when you still allowed yourself to be just you. And if you are able to do that, to listen to that inner voice, something great can come from that. And we all lost that voice, that inner song at some point in time. There is a speaker on the summit, Dana P. Rowe. He's a musical theater composer. And this is exactly what we talk about in his session. How do you reconnect with that inner song of yours? And of course, it's really, really interesting to listen to that session because he's a musical composer. That's what he does. He writes songs. But he's also a certified coach. And he connects listening to your inner soul with the creative process of creating art. And that is one way of reconnecting to that inner voice in order to find your purpose.
Love it. Well, fantastic answer. I know Jose would only hear about stripping down there. So please, Jose, no stripping. Okay. Because I know that's all you'll pick up from that whole amazing answer. So just pre-warning you.
Elliot, I guess you just gave us a sense of what you picked up.
Listen, don't you two start going up on me. That's not how this works.
The power of
because you can
projection
pronounce your name correctly. Be warned. I have the power of many buttons here. So be warned, people.
Press the I love you button. That's the best one.
Here we
Spread
go.
the love.
Oh, I need to put the volume back up.
Oh, come
Not on it today, am I? Here we go.
Give us.
It's not playing. You see, it's not impressed by you, Alex.
I love
exactly
you. Not anymore.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not working. Is that one going to work?
Alex, while Elliot gives us another I love you, if he does, maybe he doesn't want to. There we go. Tell us a bit more about what to expect from the summit, more about the speakers.
Okay, let's turn on the marketing volume here. Let me tell you a bit about this summit.
Let's turn it up.
I'm sorry, that's time, people. Right, to the next podcast.
Thank you very much for your time today, Alex. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Elliot.
So we get 45 speakers, actually, over the course of 3 days, more or less equally split, so about 15 a day. And we start on the 1st of February with a day on impact. We talk about building businesses for impact. So, for example, we do have the CEO of OceanWise, an environmental protection agency based in Canada with us, Lasse Gustafsson. He actually helps us understand what a not-for-profit business is and how it works and how you can set up a business that is thriving and still put good out there into the world. And we also talk about what the next generation of activists look like, environmental activists. Because, why does someone like Lasse spend an entire life in environmental protection? He has been working for the World Wildlife Fund. He has a solid degree in business. So he's not just a young kid that is a dreamer. He actually made a thriving career in environmental protection. So when we also talk about, for example, his son, who didn't want to go into not-for-profit, who is a marine biologist, by the way, who wants to make money and save the world, the planet. So that is day one. It's really about using business as a force for good, socially speaking, environmentally speaking. And we talk to young ecopreneurs. We talk to people that build product businesses, that build services businesses, speakers from all across the world on that day. On day two, we talk about actually building profitable companies, because as we already said, there is no sustainability in building a company that does not make money. We talk to amazing people on day two as well. For example, Hermann Simon, who is the founder and honorary chairman of one of the biggest business consulting companies in the world, very well known in the space of pricing. So he helps us understand the power of pricing. How do you actually use pricing in order to raise your profits without, on the one hand, maybe working more, but that's not really the point. The point is he tells us a bit about the leverage, the levers that we can pull in order to create more profits. And that can be pricing, that can be upping your sales volume, it can be upping your production volume, all these things. And he helps us understand with some really nice stories what pricing actually is and what the power of pricing is. And we also talked to Felix Oberholzer-Guy, who is is a Harvard strategy professor at the Harvard Business School. He gives us an understanding of what value is. So those two terms, profit and value, play an important role on day 2, where we dig into the differences and where we help our audience understand how value can be created and how it can be captured and turned into profit. And then on day 3, we talk all things personal development in the end. Us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, what can we do in order to have a mindset that helps us be in there for the long run? So avoiding burnout, avoiding depression, avoiding all these negative consequences of being basically on all the time, because that's what we are as entrepreneurs, mostly. We talk about how you can leverage certain tools in order to achieve more visibility for your business, for example. That also ties back into day 2. And we talk a lot about your mental and physical health. Those things are super important prerequisites in order to run a thriving business for profit and impact over the long run.
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah, 1st to 3rd of February, and registrations are possible through my website or through your social posts. The links are always there. Did I mention that it's actually a free summit? So
no, you just did.
Yeah, good. It's a free summit.
Free. And any money made or any profits made goes to the two charities, right?
That's correct. So it's totally free to join. You can just join us and watch the videos, but you can also support our causes. So with that summit, we support two main causes. One is environmental protection. So half of the funds that we make through the summit goes to Oceanwise, the company that I mentioned, focused on preserving our oceans, our habitat in the oceans. And the other half of the funds goes to a foundation that's called Foundation for Innovative Medicine. Together with the Harvard Medical School, they are the only ones who really doing research to end certain terminal childhood brain cancers. It's this very small company in Munich, in Germany, and they've had a tremendous success in that field doing research to find a cure. It started out with DIPG, diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma. So it's a cancer that sits in your brain, and it's actually fairly horrible because 99% of the kids that contract this cancer die within 9 months from the diagnosis. So it's a horrible disease, and but it's not the only one. They are doing the research in order to end various brain cancers, and there is just not enough attention on that topic because it's one of those rare diseases, right? It's nothing that you can expect large pharmaceutical companies to invest in because there is no business case in it for them.
Great causes. Thank you for that. So Jose, as we start to wrap it up, what would you like to say?
Alex, well, first of all, thank you so much. And what an incredible summit. People, we're going to be leaving a link as well here on the different platforms. So all you have to do is click register. And there we go. The amount of value you're going to be receiving for free is incredible. And also contribute, if you can, to this worthy cause. And I would like to ask Alex. Sorry, Elliot?
No, go on.
Okay. I will continue. So if you want to leave a legacy, for those who want to leave a legacy, for people listening to this show today, on replay, it doesn't matter. What would you say to these people, Alex? And what would be your summary in terms of building a legacy in your own terms? Over to you, good friend.
I actually believe that everyone can, in fact, create an impact, and everyone does create an impact. Sometimes we are just not aware of it. And this can be a small one, it can be a big one. It can be people that come up to us and say, like, do you remember when you said this and that and that meeting 2 or 3 years ago? And you're like, no way. But they tell you that this was the starting point for an incredible pivot for themselves. You never know. You have an impact on people. You have an impact with every purchasing decision that you make. You can ask yourself, is this product sustainably sourced, for example, right? So if you want to create an impact, you are already creating an impact. Just be more aware of the impact that you're having on the people around you, on the environment, on society, and be more mindful about those decisions. I think that's it. That's what I want to tell people.
I love that. Be conscious, make good decisions, and understand the consequence of buying this or investing in this or supporting this. Know your brands, know what they stand for as well. Awesome stuff. So, Jose, any final last words before we wrap it up? Besides, of course, join the summit, watch the summit, watch the videos, get involved, support Alex's incredible summit. I'm what day am I speaking on? Day 1 and Jose day 3? Or which just out of interest more than anything. I can't remember.
Just out of interest, I would have to check that.
Don't worry. No, don't
just out of interest, I want to check if you guys are still speaking. After this podcast, we may know.
Well, actually, both of you Alex, speak on day 2.
There you go. Well, if you could withdraw my video from this, I'm not checking. It's been fantastic having you. You're an incredible, insightful person. I think what you do is incredible. What you stand for is amazing. So thank you for giving your time and your expertise and your knowledge.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for supporting the summit.
I think it's incredible. It may be a yearly thing, and maybe, who knows? Well, you probably won't allow it. I was going to say, let's come to Canada next time, but then the carbon footprint probably, will be against your values. So maybe not then. But anyway, thank you again. Jose, any final anything before we say goodbye?
I want to say thank you so much as well, Alex. It's been a pleasure meeting you and, having different sessions with you, contributing towards your cause as you are contributing